Hey guys, so it's layout update number 28. And before we jump in and take a look at some of the updates that I've done, I'm going to address a question I had on one of the comments, and that was in regards to my ESU cab controller here. So just going to give a quick overview of it and then give my first impressions, I guess, because I've been using it now for a little while. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. But as you can see, it comes with the actual controller, right? Got a nice big dial on it. Comes with the main unit, I guess, and that is the Wi-Fi unit. It's got the cord that runs up to the power to the track, and back behind it there, sitting in the dark, is the actual power supply. And that's it. Those are the three things you get. So let's jump in here really quick. I'll give you a quick overview. It has a power button up on top right here, 4 buttons on either side that you can program to any function. I think currently I have this one as the horn. This one, I don't remember. I think I have it, or at least it depends on the locomotive too. But this one, I think I had it on like the, rev up the engine. This one here is for reversing, and then the other one is the emergency stop. Now, if you can use a smartphone, you can pretty much use this thing. It's very nice that it's wireless. It connects all by itself to the wireless unit down there, and pretty much does that all by itself. Once you turn it on, give it a second, you have the main program right here, and you can see that I have 2 locomotives currently. There's the SD40, and then I've got my GP38 right there. I haven't reprogrammed the new SD40 yet, so I really just modified the icons that you can see on the screen. You can put in as many as you want. Well, not as many as you want. I think it's on something like 30 or something different icons, each of them mapped to a different function, right? And so you can see I've got light, bell, horn. I got a couple of brake ones there. There's like the toggle brake. I think one of them is an emergency brake. I've got another light. That's the ditch lights for this locomotive. This brown circle one, I actually have it for the startup. The next blue one right there on my thumb is the sort of like cruise control. It's the speed hold. So I can select that, and whatever the speed the locomotive is running at, it's going to hold it, and I can crank up with the dial the engine, so you'll hear it rev up and everything. I've got a fan on there. I forgot if it's like a cooling fan or whatever. And a secondary light one, or that light one down at the bottom, that's for dimming the lights. I don't think I'm going to use that too much. And then I've got like I don't know, some kind of other one right there. I don't even use it. And you can remove these as you want. Setting up is pretty straightforward. Try to keep the glare off of it there from the lights. But especially if you have a locomotive that has a ESU decoder on it, all you got to do is literally I just plop this SD40 on the track, and once I powered up the track, it instantly found it and just set it all up. So yeah, it's real nice. I bought it because I wanted to have wireless capabilities, or I didn't want to be tethered while I'm walking around the layout and whatnot. And so this fit the bill, and it was a little bit more modern. I didn't really like the other options, although I was going to say I was a little bit hesitant in that there's not that many tactile buttons, and it's a screen, and I was wondering if I would be like constantly looking at this to push buttons. But having the 4 programmable buttons right here pretty much covers, lights, reverse, horn, bell. You can set whatever you want, and then having the big dial is real nice too. And you can see it is actually powered, so if it will gives you a little bit of force feedback, as to how fast you turn something. And actually, it just going into reverse right here, not reverse, but sort of like braking, and then it goes over to the sort of default neutral position right there. The red light is red right now because it's not powered, meaning the track is not powered, and that's where you have this stop pause button, which is a little weird. It's sort of a touch button. Yeah, so having those 4 tactile buttons, I think, definitely works perfectly fine. And I find that I'm almost never touching screens on here, other than when I have the bell. I touch the bell, I might hit the the cruise control, but it's not distracting. I'm not taking my eyes off of the layout for that long. As opposed to having like one of the other, older controllers. I say older, but there's a lot of new ones, that are all full of buttons and everything, and you can actually feel the buttons as you're going. I found that that's not an issue. So let's go ahead and power up the track, and you'll probably hear my GP38 turn on in the background. There you go. You can see the button went, or the light went green, and actually, you know what? I have my GP38 on a little storage track, so you're not going to hear it. So let's go ahead and take a look. Well, that's pretty much the update for the controller here. I definitely recommend it. There's the power button there at the top. Works very nice, and it works nice with even just having to program a controller or a locomotive that doesn't have an ESU is pretty straightforward. You just add it, punch in the number, and away you go. So the next update is the new locomotive here. It's a ScaleTrains SD40T-2. This one, 4425, represents an ex-Southern Pacific that was repainted. And I think the prototype actually got renumbered by Union Pacific at some point, and then eventually got scrapped, I think, in the mid-2000s. I may be wrong on that, but that's what I've found so far, just searching around. But we'll try to take a closer look here. It's very nice. Focus there, camera. Lots of detail. You've got good detail on the trucks, handbars everywhere. And when I received it, no issues whatsoever. You can see the see-through grille. Works very, very nice. And the fact that it comes with the I'm losing my train of thought. It comes with, obviously sound decoder and everything. But the nice thing with Scale Trains is it also comes with 2 capacitors. I guess that's the right term. So they're, as a current keeper. So you don't have to mess around with anything else. Everything's included. You don't have to go buy an extra current keeper or keep alive and stick that in like I did with my GP38. So that's real nice. Looking forward to weathering this sucker up. So yeah. All right. Layout update time. Had a few changes here, and not too many on the street scene over here. I added a little bit of gravel underneath the sidewalk here just to kind of even that out. And then I'm going to be putting in permanently the sidewalk here, and then painting in the lines and whatnot. And then maybe doing a little bit more detailing right there. As far as the rest of the layout, we've got, we'll just go down the line here. So if you remember this little building, it wasn't even an industry. It just happens to be called athearn with an E, no A. I decided, you know what? It would be neat to have that as actually being serviced but as an industry. So that was easy enough to do. I basically just printed out the door and stuck it on there. And so now it has a spot. Now it's on the same spur that Southern Wine and Spirits is on. And so for operations, that'll make kind of interesting, a little bit more stuff to do, like maybe these guys are getting switched out, and there's a car over here that isn't getting switched out. So you're going to have to deal with that by taking this one out and putting it back and so forth. So a little bit more action for the layout. Yeah, I'll just go down the line here. See the green Burlington Northern car. It's pretty rusted up. It's basically in a half state of weathering. The other side is almost, there's no rust or anything. I only got one side of it done. And it's not complete yet. I still haven't sealed it in with any kind of clear coat or anything, but I wanted to get it out and running on the layout. The wooded area over here, I did a little bit of, ground up some leaves out that I found in my backyard, kind of started putting those around. I'm not sure I'm going to keep them all in there. They're not glued down yet. So yeah, just kind of adjusting those as I go. And then the major thing that I started doing over here, we'll jump in the back first. I ended up getting my doors stuck on while I was printing them out for the other industry there for athearn. I printed out a couple of doors here, stuck those on because I neglected to do that in the last update, or in the last time I was updating that building. But Shasta Beverage here is starting to come together. So you can see I've got, I don't mind a little messiness right there on the corner. I printed out a siding. I basically went on Google Street View, found a building that looked interesting and that fit the bill, took a snapshot of it, cropped out one little square, and then duplicated it in my paint program, printed it out, stuck it on, and yeah, and then I decided to stick some windows on here because most of the time when you're sitting here working on the layout, I'm on this side over here, you know, because that's sort of the corner right there. And wanted to have a little bit more interest right here. Now the plan in the real Shasta Beverage, they have sort of like a thing back here, like with a tank, and they get tanker cars right here. And, you know, so they can, you know, unload tanker cars with stuff like that. There's a little bit of gantry crane, not gantry crane, but I guess like a, you know, a ladder thing with a platform up on top. So I'm going to see about working something into that going into the future there. Got the doors put on here, 2 of them. And then the front of them here, I think if you remember from the last layout, I ended up doing just a little bit of paint here on the street. The front of the building here, and this is why I decided to put windows. Let me get my camera angled here. I decided to put windows all the way around here because it's just a box and it looked pretty plain sitting here. So I did the windows on the back side, and I actually wrapped the windows around here from the front of the building, which is out here, sort of on the side, and you don't really get a good view of it. So this scene was a totally different building that I got off of Street View. Just copied this, stuck it on. Same thing with the windows. That's from a different building. I gotta change this scope. I made the door a little bit too big. That doorway is a totally separate doorway image that I pasted into this image. But I didn't shrink it down enough, so it's like this ginormous door. And let me get rid of that. Yeah, so a lot of work done on Shasta Beverage over here. And then got one tree here that I didn't really want to stick into the hillside there, so I just kind of stuck it right there. But yeah, very nice, starting to come together. So this end of the layout is what I'm going to be working on predominantly, and get that kind of scenic, get some you know, scenery down on the ground and whatnot. Work on that driveway going into Shasta Beverage, and then the roadway here, we'll get that kind of done up a little bit. And I think the next portion, we can start moving outwards from that center portion and start working on whatever's going on over here and our little Sanford and Son salvage section. So just to give you a quick overview, haven't really done anything on this part of the layout right here. I did run a couple operations over on this layout, or I'm on this side of the layout all the way into Huntington Beach here. But that was just to get the cars kind of circulating, because I had cars sitting out here and they weren't really going, because all I was doing was doing the other side of the layout, running operations there. So yeah, I think I'm going to spread out from this side of the layout. And whoops, sorry, camera's going bananas on me here. Hold still. I got one of these little arms, you know, to stabilize the image, and sometimes I hit the button by accident. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be spreading out, starting to work on that end, and again, finishing up the corner right here. And I think what I'm going to do for sort of the inbound track here that comes out of the yard, because it's just my garage and all this crap like that. I'm going to continue the backboard here along here, so we can have a backdrop at least on it, and get better shots of the train actually coming into the layout. Same thing on that side. The plan is to put more of a backdrop behind all of that and connect the two up, so it's all enclosed here. So I think that's pretty much all I have. Oh, you know, I can do one more thing over here. So if we come over here, you might ask, what the heck did I do with my other system since I got the new one? So I've got the power cab here from NCE, and basically what I've done, put a little bit of track on a piece of board, put the NCE box on there, connected it up. This is my programming track. There's a power supply. So I can take that inside and do some programming. I'll do that with the new locomotive. I haven't changed the default address on it because, like I said, with it being a ESU decoder, I just put it on the track and away it goes. It's running, right? But I do want to change the default address from 3 over to the 4425. And nothing new on the yard side here. The plan here is still to get a little bit better lighting here. Oh, speaking of lighting, I know this is going to be bright. Brand new LED lights up on the top, which I do have to say, wow, what a difference. Very important to have good lighting on your layout, whether it's just over the section here or just in general. It made a huge difference in just doing the videos even. And of course on this side I don't have any, but we've got a couple. Let me see if I can brighten that up here with the camera. Got a couple of locomotives stored here. There's the GP38. Got a little older one here. I had one person who models that era was like, hey, is that what I see there? Yes, it is. And then got an old athearn Pacific Surfliner right there. I was just kind of playing around with that. It really needs a little bit of work to get it running smooth. But that is from the old layout, both of these guys. But I still like to kind of mess with them and see how they run. So, all right, that's update 28. I know I've been babbling a lot here, and we haven't even run any trains. I think maybe, why don't we just go start up the new locomotive, just for the heck of it, and then we will call it a day. We'll call it a complete update here. And you can see I've got cars in here because I am in the middle of a operation session from last night, and I didn't finish. So let me go ahead and fire up the track here, or fire up the locomotive, just to end off the video. It sounds really good if you didn't hear it from my my other video here, but that's a big blue button there. I just click it, and away we go. And there's the shutdown. So guys, hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And if you're new and you made it this far and you're not a subscriber, subscribe. And hit the bell button to get notified when I post new videos. If you look at my channel, you'll see I do a lot of operations videos and layout updates here like this as we go along building the Union Pacific I'm going to call it the Orange County Industrial Lead. I don't know what the official name is. Till next time, guys, take care. Bye.